was beginning to feel that it was time for me to pass the baton on. You know, a lot of making the conference work depends on relationships with people in other organisations. And, you know, over the years, I've developed new relationships, maintained long-standing relationships, but I was beginning to see that there was a new generation coming in, and I didn't feel it was my role to be making those relationships with that new generation. I just, you know, God was putting on my heart that it was time for me to be passing the baton of the leadership on. But every time I mentioned it, you know, oh yes, we need to look for somebody. Yeah, we will look for somebody. But of course, you won't stop until we found the right person, will you? And the trustees knew that I was not going to just walk away from the conference and everything around it until I felt that God was saying, you know, the right thing is in place now, you can go. And so, you know, in some situations, you know that you should just walk away and then that somebody else will pick up the baton. But I felt that wasn't the case. And then with COVID, it didn't feel right that during that period, we should just say, well, the last conference was 2010. I mean, it was in February 2020, sorry. And that February, people were saying, oh, this COVID thing, you know, I wonder what's going to happen about it.
2020 would have been the last one then. Yeah.
It was. You know, and within a month, we were into lockdowns and everything. And that actually gave us, as you know, some great opportunities for some online training through Children Matter, which is completely different area, but that enabled the connections with our mailing list and people that we were connected to through the conference to be maintained during the COVID period. So I felt it was right that I should be involved in the first face-to-face conference that we put on afterwards. But happily, I had already had a conversation with you where you and Helen were beginning to feel that God was putting on your heart that the conference was something that you should become involved with. And I mean, that gave me great joy because I knew that you would be willing to pick up and run with a vision that needed refreshing, that needed taking into new areas as we come out of COVID and as the church generally is changing and growing and developing, but that still would have the heart and the passion that we'd always had and maintained for the past 25 years. So it was with great joy that I was able to actually say to the trustees, I am retiring, this is going to happen. And that they were confident that they had somebody who would continue with the vision. So fantastic.